followed by the Kabo people. Arogbo-Ibe. Arogbo-Ibe was the most seen person movie, followed by his younger brother called Kabo-Ibe. Who are the people who say those are our brothers. Life and direct. From Kabo gave birth to Truman. That is why you have Truman. They are same family. They are followed by a woman called Efron. The Efron was the one who founded the Efron kingdom in Wari. The people they think are Obo people, they are Ijobi. The Uwe kingdom, that is a brown woman who marries that Obo man and gave birth to that nation. Till today, any Arogbo king passing through Wari, he will stop at the front of your the Uwe's palace. So these are my brothers, they receive us. A sister of Arogbo-Ibe gave birth to that kingdom, followed again by the Oglosa people in Saramati. Those are our brothers. So when we moved from Saram, because of what happened, exactly in 736 AD, 736 AD, when they moved, we stopped briefly at the front and now moved to Oglosa. The whole of Paramount, those are part of the Baran family. They are our brothers, same mother, same father. And we stayed there together for a while, for about 37 years, before the Arogbo people moved. The Arogbo man was the eldest. That is why in all this movement, the Arogbo man, being the eldest family, held to himself the bishop, the Baran. But the eldest of the family has to continue to worship the war god, the Besu, the Marawe Besu, which today we call Marawe Besu or Arogbo-Ibe. We have to go back to the roots around to go and install the Besu for them. No, we have it here, but when Baran resettled, Arogbo had to go back to Baran to war and install the Besu again, activate it back for them. Yeah, because the only people who know about parenting actually are the Arogbo. Yes. That is why the Arogbo who are able to the Besu back to Baran. They are able to keep to Oglosa. Again, when Topolo emerged and he was fighting for the donation, continuously fighting even today for the donation, and needed to activate the traditions of the dollar. This was what happened. We've been here since the 6th century, after the death of Christ. And don't be surprised, God gave us this land. God gave us this land. Arogbo Kingdom has over 100 communities. Arogbo is just the headquarter town. You have Ajapa, you have Afaka, you have Okuba, you have Olowo, you have Yabene, you have Adolescent for 1, 2, 3, 4. You have Asere, you have Otobu, you have Ukpe, you have Penama. You move this way. You have inside, you'll be back. 1, 2, 3. Then you come out, you have to Patobo. You come this way, you have Amapere. You have New Jerusalem, Arogbo Zion there. You have Amapere. You have Agada-Bongo. You have Olopakol, Ediaye, you have Oyera, you have Amonikro, you have Dibigbene, and you continue to go to the various communities under the Agadaba of Arogbo. There are over 100 communities. The Agadaba is ruling over about 120 Ijo communities, Ijo speaking communities in those days. Yes. And one thing our ancestors did very amazingly for us was the fact that they kept our tradition no matter the distance. We moved all the way from Bayelsa and came here in the 6th century, and till date, from generation to generation, we've kept our language, we've kept our traditions, we've kept the gods, we've kept your science rules, everything is kept. Myanmar, goes to me, or sign room or sign last and Myanmar. And we also know God because the white man came and we also appreciated God. That is what I was saying in the church today. I do God Almighty. I also respect my tradition. That is the way I live my life. And nobody should tell me that I'm worshiping two gods. It's not your business. I'm not worshiping two gods. I'm worshiping God Almighty. But because He said, respect authority on earth, in the Bible, I respect the king. And the king is ruling over this kingdom. Whether we respect Arogbo-Ibe, where may you be some Jesus Christ of He links our tradition to the living God. Why would I respect that kind of instruction? So this is the way I live my life. Remember, September 28th, I'm out Gilliman, Beso Gilliman, I'll come out. And when we come out, the rain will fall, it must fall. And that is one thing God has made possible. The moment we come out in the early hours of September 28th, there must be rainfall. Because Bogila will not believe in me, they need to also say it. Because our elders have kept tradition. When you must for Harry, when beyond this mosque and a massive majority of the Yoruba nation. It's not easy. It's tough, but God has been faithful. In this state, or those states, the only thing we have not become is deputy governor and governor. We'll be secretary to government. We are attorney general. We are commissioner every time. We've been to House of Assembly. I was the fourth Arogbo-Ibe person to go to House of Assembly. The Ondo State House of Assembly in 2003. My late uncle, Right Honorable Barrister Richard Tolowo, was the first Arogbo man to go to the House of Assembly in 1979. And when he got there, when Ekiti and Ondo were together, Awolowo looked at all 66 members and told them, this Ijaw man will be speaker. So out of 66 House of Assembly members, one Ijaw man, 65 Yoruba people. The late Chief Obafemi Awolowo looked at him, a very handsome, polished, quiet lawyer. He looked at him, finance, elegant man. He said, this will be the speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly. All the Ondo State, Ekiti and Ondo joined together. The only Ijaw man, Kevin Baizokim, became speaker over 65 in the House of Assembly. This is what God has done for us. That God raised another young man, Barrister D.I.Ibe, who today, in the whole of this country, one Ijaw man, this Arogbo is the national vice chairman in all of the southwest of APC, the ruling party. An Arogbo man is the national vice chairman for the whole southwest, the 6 states of the southwest, and the first national chairman of NECO. He was attorney general, he was commissioner for justice, he was commissioner for works, he was commissioner for lands and housing, he was secretary to government of Ondo State. So God has been so faithful to us as Ijaw people that when we see our brothers come in anytime, this is an Ijaw town that you will travel over 3 to 4 states. That whenever you come here, as you are moving, you can, by the right, you see people speaking Ijaw language, you can hear. Kalawapa is of you, Kosu is of you, Yorùbá of you, Wake of you, Myanmar. And this type of distance, all these years, without losing our tongue, is a wonderful gifts and miracles only from God Almighty. He kept us here. He didn't just keep us. He kept us in war gods. Yes, to protect us, protect the nation, put us here as the last frontiers, the last part of the nation. And we are alert to our responsibilities. We know why God has brought us here, and we will not disappoint Him and our nation. But the Yoruba people that we are brothers with, they've also received us, they've seen us over time as brothers. Sometimes they vote for us. They pick us over their brothers because they can see quality. But we also will send the best among us to compete with them anytime, any day. So I want to thank you. You are welcome home. You are here. Our king, you know him, is Imperial Majesty Barrister Zykios Nobra Ebru JP, the third, the Akadamba of Arogbo. He's still a practicing lawyer. His fame, his law firm is still operational in Akure, with people, lawyers taking care of his briefs and everything. He's still guiding them. He's very still active. He's a Gadamba, but he's a lawyer. His law firm is still in operation. Yes. At some point in this state, he was the most senior chief magistrate before he retired and became the Agadagwa of Arogbo. These are some of the things we consciously do to make sure that we are protected, we are alert, we know why God has placed us here. So when we see you coming from Bayelsa Rivers Delta anytime, we are very happy. We are very glad to receive our brothers and sisters whenever they come in. The people we see regularly among us are our brothers from Paramacho. They are always here. We always go to them. We are same blood. We are all from the Rosawi lineage. Some people call their last name here in Arogbo. The people from Arogbo, they will say, oh, Beki Atarata, Beki Asonata. Yes, it's true. But the Beki they are calling, that ancestor they are calling was not even buried here. It was buried in Arogbo. As when we were in the Paramount territory before we moved this way. And we moved this way in the 6th century. So we are an ancient people, very ancient people. But we are not here alone. We also have our brothers, the Akoi people, who also moved from Bayelsa. The Akoi people are here. They are upland. Their communities are landed. 9 communities. This symbolic thing, Senambi, 9 quarters. The Akoi people are also, though most of them speak the Yoruba language now, but they were very close to the Yoruba people. As we protected ourselves against that assimilation, the Akoi people, maybe their ancestors allowed it, from what we've seen. A lot of them, but they know their job. They know they are from Bayelsa State. They know they are from the Akoi sector of Southern Region. They know their ancestors. They go to INC. They do in fact, they do INC elections. They represent the nation anywhere. Yes, so they do everything. They, from the Western Zone here, the Akoi people here will go to Bayelsa for INC elections, win elections. They select them. Their traditional rulers are part of the traditional rulers council. So it's not only the Akoi people. They are Kalasui. The Kalasui of Akoi. The Kalasui of Akoi. Kalasui is two. Yes, Kalasui happen to be a very old ancient school in the nation. The Akoi people are the people who still hold that title. Their current king, the Kalasui, is a professor. Yes. He was my lecturer in university in 1991. Was my lecturer. He's the Kalasui of Akoi land now. So we are doing our best. We are uniting our brothers, people here, we don't have other people. They moved from Bayelsa. They didn't come with us to the Rosa section. They came to Okumu. Yes, the present day Okumu, where they have the oil, the palm oil mill and all that. That is where they came. They settled that for about 85 years before they moved this way. Because of the census crisis in the East. This was how they moved down and came to settle here. They have their 9 iconic resort communities here. All of them resort names. Kribo, that was the first community of the Afro. Kribo, Ibotu, Sabome, Ibekebo, same Ibekebo that they have in Delta, Ibekebo, they have it here. It's the local headquarters. Yes, you have in Bobini, you have in Nicola, the same Nicola you have when they are here. It's a force. You have in Nicola, you have Oburu, the same Oburu you have in Delta, they have it here. So this is why some of us are very elated when we see our people. When you come, if there was time, I would have called the Council of our boy, we would write down and go and play with the music with our some other time. When you come, I'll tell them. So we have to also go to their boy, not just come to our stop. Arogbo is common knowledge. Everybody almost knows Arogbo. But most people don't know about our boy. I hear it, but they don't know. So we need to help. Arogbo people, we need to move people to our point, to know them, so you can have yes. So whether it's on people, it's just my cousin here.